We've talked about celebrity properties before. Big mansions, city homes, high-profile real estate everyone already knows about. But this time, we're going somewhere very different. Away from headlines, away from cameras, and far from the places fans expect these stars to be.
Magkaroon ng privacy.
Some of the most respected veteran stars didn't just invest in houses. They quietly secured beach villas and coastal retreats designed for privacy, control, and escape. Places where no press follows them, where wealth isn't displayed but protected, and where the real value isn't just the view, but what these homes allow them to walk away from.
Alam niyo ho, sa lamig kasi katabi namin dito yung Malarayat.
What makes these properties even more intriguing is how little is publicly known about them. No glossy features, no social media tours, just whispers, reports, and market clues that suggest some of these beach homes are worth tens, even hundreds of millions today. And in a few cases, if you had the budget, you could technically rent a similar place for one night, at a price that might surprise you.
Siyempre yung somewhere because it's really meaningful.
Before we start, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our uploads. We cover stories like this regularly, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. What makes Manny Pacquiao's beach property so fascinating isn't the size or the luxury, it's the location. Far from Metro Manila and worlds away from celebrity hotspots, this private beachfront villa sits in Sarangani, close to his roots and deliberately outside the public eye. Over the years, reports and local accounts have pointed to Pacquiao owning a coastal compound in the area, tucked behind security and natural barriers. Unlike his well-documented mansions, this place was never meant to be photographed or flexed. It's designed for separation, family gatherings, quiet meetings, time away from the noise that follows him everywhere else. Based on beachfront land values in Sarangani and comparable high-end coastal developments, real estate observers estimate the property could be worth anywhere from 200 million pesos to 400 million pesos today, depending on beachfront length and compound size. And that's a conservative range. Beachfront land in the province is quietly appreciated as luxury buyers move south for privacy. The villa is not publicly listed for rent, right? But comparable private beachfront homes in the region, off-market and invitation only, are rumored to go for 50,000 pesos to over 120,000 pesos per night when made available. That alone hints at the level of exclusivity involved.
Gusto namin mag-relax, magkaroon ng privacy.
For Pacquiao, this isn't a vacation house, it's a control zone. A place where he decides who gets access, when the world stays out, and where power moves quietly happens by the sea. But while Pacquiao chose isolation through distance, another legendary figure found privacy much closer to home, and hid it even better. While Manny Pacquiao went south to disappear, Vilma Santos took a different approach. She stayed close but invisible. Batangas has long been tied to her public life. Yet what many people overlook is how strategically that province works for privacy. Over the years, reports and insider chatter have suggested that beyond her known residences, Vilma maintains one or more beach-adjacent retreats tucked away from resort-heavy areas. These aren't weekend vacation houses meant for guests. They're controlled, low-profile coastal properties designed to stay off the radar. What makes these retreats especially interesting is location. Batangas beachfront land, particularly private stretches not tied to commercial resorts, has quietly surged in value. Based on comparable luxury coastal properties, market observers estimate these retreats could be worth anywhere from 60 million pesos to as high as 150 million pesos each, depending on proximity to the water and land size. And because Batangas is just a few hours from Metro Manila, that value continues to climb.
Alam niyo ho, sa lamig kasi katabi namin dito yung Malarayat.
None of these properties are publicly listed for rent. But if you look at similar private beach homes in Batangas that do occasionally accept bookings, nightly rates range from 25,000 pesos to over 80,000 pesos, often with strict privacy rules and limited availability. That pricing gives a strong clue about the level of exclusivity involved. For Vilma, these retreats aren't about luxury statements. They're about access control. A place to step out of public roles without fully leaving the map. Close enough to manage responsibilities, but distant enough to breathe. And while Vilma's beach escapes are hidden in familiar territory, another veteran star chose to fade even further into the background, where almost no one thinks to look. Vilma Santos found privacy by staying close. Lorna Tolentino, on the other hand, chose to step quietly out of view. Unlike stars who openly showcase vacation homes, Lorna has always kept her personal life tightly guarded. That same discretion extends to what many reports and longtime industry watchers believe is a provincial coastal or near-beach retreat, far from tourist-heavy destinations and even farther from entertainment gossip. The details are intentionally scarce, and that's the point. This isn't a beachfront mansion designed for attention. It's believed to be a modest, well-secured property built for peace rather than prestige. Based on provincial coastal land values and comparable private retreats, real estate observers estimate the property could fall anywhere between 30 million pesos and 70 million pesos, depending on location, access to the shoreline, and land size. There's no indication the property has ever been offered for rent. But similar low-profile beach homes in quieter provinces, those that avoid Instagram tourism altogether, typically rent for 15,000 to 40,000 pesos per night when owners allow limited bookings. The pricing reflects comfort and privacy, not resort-style luxury.
Syempre yung somewhere because
What adds weight to this retreat is timing. Fans have long speculated that Lorna's coastal escape became especially important during later chapters of her life, serving as a place to disconnect and reset without explanation or headlines. No staff photos, no public appearances, just distance. For her, the real luxury isn't beachfront views, it's anonymity. And while Lorna's retreat thrives on understatement, the next veteran actor took secrecy to an entirely different level by making privacy the entire philosophy behind his beach escape. Lorna Tolentino's retreat thrives on understatement. Christopher de Leon's, according to long-standing industry talk, is built around one idea alone: complete separation. Despite decades of fame, Christopher has always maintained a reputation for keeping his personal life firmly off limits. That same mindset reportedly extends to a coastal or near-coastal property located well outside celebrity-favored destinations. No resort neighbors, no influencer traffic, and no reason for outsiders to pass by unless they already know it's there. Unlike beach homes that sit directly on popular shorelines, this retreat is believed to be positioned just far enough from the water or tucked into a non-tourism zone to avoid attention entirely. Based on rural coastal land values and comparable private properties, real estate estimates suggest the home could be worth anywhere from 40 million pesos to 90 million pesos today. The value isn't driven by hype, but by scarcity and intentional isolation. There's no evidence the property has ever been rented out. In fact, that would go against its entire purpose. Still, similar off-grid beach retreats with comparable privacy and access are known to command 20,000 to 50,000 pesos per night when owners quietly allow short stays. The price reflects silence, not service.
She first who asked me to be an associate was the director.
What stands out is how deliberate the choice feels. This isn't a vacation house, it's an anti-showbiz solution. a place where celebrity status loses relevance, schedules slow down, and the outside world stays exactly where it belongs. But not every beach retreat is about disappearing completely. For the next star, the coast became something else entirely, a place tied to emotional survival, not just escape. Christopher de Leon's retreat was designed to shut the world out completely. For Sharon Cuneta, the coast appears to serve a different purpose, recovery, rather than disappearance. Over the years, Sharon has been unusually open about exhaustion, emotional strain, and moments when she needed to step back from everything. In that context, reports and long-standing observations suggest that coastal stays, whether through ownership or long-term access to private beach properties, have played a key role in how she resets away from public pressure. Unlike ultra-private compounds meant to stay hidden forever, these coastal homes are believed to be comfort-focused rather than fortress-like. Places designed to slow life down, not isolate it completely. Based on high-end coastal property values in popular yet discreet locations, real estate watchers estimate that a privately owned beach retreat tied to her could be valued anywhere from 50 million pesos to 120 million pesos, depending on frontage, design, and proximity to the water. If rented rather than owned, comparable upscale beach homes in similar areas typically list for 40,000 to over 100,000 pesos per night, especially during peak seasons. The pricing reflects serenity and space, not spectacle.
We're building in the south, and it was my lot that I bought after Boston, around 98, 99, after we lived in Boston.
What makes these escapes significant is how consistently they appear during transitional periods in her life. Fans have noticed patterns: extended coastal breaks, quiet returns, and renewed focus afterward. The beach, in this case, isn't about hiding wealth. It's about preserving longevity. And while Sharon's coastal retreats prioritize emotional breathing room, the next star approached beach living from a completely different angle, treating it not as an escape, but as a carefully curated lifestyle choice. Sharon Cuneta's coastal escapes are about emotional reset. Dawn Zulueta's, by contrast, appear to be about precision. Known for refined taste and an eye for aesthetics, Dawn has long projected a lifestyle centered on balance rather than excess. Within that context, reports and lifestyle industry chatter suggest she either owns or has long-term access to architect-designed beach homes that prioritize design, space, and privacy, without the chaos of high-traffic resort areas. These aren't sprawling party villas. They're carefully planned retreats where every detail serves a purpose. Clean lines, natural light, seamless indoor-outdoor living. Based on the current market for custom-designed coastal properties, real estate analysts estimate such a beach home could easily fall between 80 million pesos and 180 million pesos, depending on architectural pedigree, beachfront access, and land size. If offered for short-term stays, similar high-end villas in discrete coastal areas are known to rent for 60,000 to 150,000 pesos per night, often with strict guest limits and minimal online presence. Availability is intentionally limited, reinforcing exclusivity rather than maximizing profit. What makes this approach stand out is how understated it is. There's no public branding around the property, no celebrity beach house label, just a space that reflects long-term thinking, how and where to live well without inviting attention. For Dawn, beach living isn't a phase. It's a system. And while her coastal retreat is curated to perfection, the next veteran actor took a far more radical step, using provincial beach living not as a getaway, but as a deliberate exit from the showbiz grind altogether. Dawn Zulueta's beach retreat is curated with precision. Albert Martinez's approach is far more direct. Step away, stay grounded, and don't look back. For years, Albert has been vocal about his preference for life outside Metro Manila. That mindset reportedly extends to long-term stays in provincial areas close to the coast, where the pace is slower and the need for constant visibility disappears. Rather than treating the beach as a luxury escape, this lifestyle frames it as a practical decision, one rooted in sustainability, not spectacle. Industry observers and local real estate comparisons suggest that a provincial beach or near-beach home suited for long-term living could be valued between 25 million pesos and 60 million pesos, depending on remoteness, land size, and access to the shoreline. These aren't headline-grabbing figures, but they reflect a smart trade-off: space and freedom over address prestige. If a similar property were to be rented, comparable homes in quieter coastal provinces typically go for 12,000 to 30,000 pesos per night. The appeal isn't five-star service. It's silence, routine, and distance from the demands of public life. What stands out here is intent. This isn't a vacation home waiting to be visited a few times a year. It's part of a broader lifestyle shift, one that prioritizes disruptive calm over relevance. The beach becomes a buffer, not a backdrop. And just when it seems like all the major names have been covered, there's still one type of retreat that almost never gets mentioned. The kind owned by a veteran star whose power lies precisely in staying unnoticed. Albert Martinez chose distance as a lifestyle. But there's one more kind of coastal retreat that almost never makes it into conversations like this, because it was designed to stay invisible from the very beginning. Industry insiders have long hinted that at least one respected veteran star, often a character actor rather than a headline name, owns a small but strategically located beach or near-beach property in a province that rarely attracts celebrity attention. No popular resorts, no trending destinations, just land quietly acquired years ago, before prices surged and before privacy became a luxury. Unlike the other retreats we've talked about, this one isn't impressive at first glance. No sprawling villa, no architectural flex. But that's exactly why it works. Based on provincial coastal land prices and similar off-market properties, real estate estimates place its value somewhere between 20 million pesos and 50 million pesos today, an amount that has steadily appreciated without ever drawing attention. If a comparable property were rented, similar low-key beach homes in these areas typically list for 10,000 to 25,000 pesos per night, often through private referrals rather than public platforms. Availability is rare. Publicity is non-existent. What makes this retreat powerful isn't luxury, it's foresight. The owner understood early that the safest form of wealth is the kind no one asks about. No rumors, no photos, no curiosity, just a quiet asset that offers peace, stability, and an exit whenever needed. And when you look at all these beach homes together, a pattern becomes clear. For veteran stars, the ultimate flex isn't being seen. It's knowing exactly when and where to disappear. When you step back and look at all these retreats together, a clear pattern starts to emerge. These aren't impulse buys or flashy vacation splurges. They're long-term decisions made by people who understand fame, pressure, and timing better than anyone else. For veteran stars, beach homes aren't about showing success. They're about managing it. Privacy replaces visibility. Control replaces access. And distance becomes a form of security. Whether it's a high-value villa tucked away in Sarangani or a modest coastal escape no one ever talks about, each property serves the same purpose: creating space where public life can't follow. What's striking is how intentional these choices are. Many of these retreats were acquired before coastal land values exploded, turning quiet escapes into powerful, appreciating assets. Others are never rented, not because they couldn't be profitable, but because peace is worth more than income. It also raises an interesting question. As social media makes privacy harder to protect, will the next generation of stars still be able to disappear this way? Or has that era quietly ended? If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which retreat surprised you the most. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future uploads.